I've given myself 1 year to answer the question, who is the best builder in Minecraft? Well, the answer is not who you think. The best builders in Minecraft are ones you've never heard of. They're the best of the best, and they don't split their time between building and videos. But if no one's ever heard of them, how do we find them? I'm gonna host a build competition. Actually, I'm gonna host 6. I decided to host 5 building competitions and take the top 5 from each and invite them to compete for the title of Builder of the Year in a single end-of-year competition. So I got to work. I organized some serious prize money, gathered promotional material to spread the word, laid out plots, designed a scoring system, and even lined up special guest judges. And then just like that, there I was. January 5th, the day of the first competition. All right, 8 a.m. The competition this month is Antigravity. While the first competition was underway, I needed to find a guest judge. This is Painter. On top of having a pretty substantial art background, Painter is also the founder of the bakery and kind of my partner in crime when it comes to Minecraft, so he was an easy first pick for guest judging. But before we went live on Twitch to announce the winners, each comp got around 30 to 50 solid entries that we would have to mull over until we had our top 10. Now, this right here is me a year ago. I had no idea how crazy the builds were going to be.
Yeah.
Holy
This one's
gosh.
pretty impressive.
I think, what the? No.
Look at the cat's face.
Why is it this detailed?
Dude, it's actually super good.
This one's sick, though. I really do like this a lot. I don't like the fact that this is nice.
What
I
do
don't
you
like
mean?
the fact that the clouds are good and the texturing looks sick. Gems or geodes around this person who's got this sick paper fan. This is sick. I hate this.
Look at the detail on the fan with the cherry blossoms and then the red blossoms on the side. And they're like
Wild.
coming out of the fan on both sides. Even the back.
I want this shirt. The shirt is sick. That should be highlights, right? Those are
Yeah.
highlights from the things spinning around. It's so good. I love it. I like the crow and the bird. These are really nice. Ooh, and is this a hand down here? There's like a natural
Yeah, there's a
hand.
whole hand in the terrain.
The terrain is insane.
Like the flowers at this scale, especially too, it's really hard to like pull something like this off. Overall, this is a really solid build. For each competition, we'd score the builds on technical skill, composition, theme, and creativity. Each category was weighted equally, and then at the end of the stream, we would announce who was getting invited to the end-of-year competition.
And our number 5th place, we have Tom Stein. Number 4 place goes to Omega. In 3rd place, we have Bed War. 2nd place winner is Elements with 64.8. So 1st place goes to, with a high score of 71.4, Knighty. Woo! Yeah, woo! Clap, 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 clap.
With our first top 5 out of the way, it was time to start thinking about the next competition. With how well the first competition went, I was pumped to start working on comp number 2, and given by the promotional materials, you could probably guess what the theme was. So without further ado, the theme for this month's comp is... But who would the judge be?
I just work here, man.
Shovel? I don't think Shovel needs much of an introduction to my audience. For those of you that don't know Shovel though, he's built some of the biggest structures on YouTube, and I don't mean a couple, it's like 5 or 6 at this point. And I think inviting Shovel on might have gotten a couple people really excited about this comp, because they went all out. The way they use blocks is super creative. The way they texture everything in the finer details, they do super well and in ways that I haven't necessarily seen before.
It also looks good from every angle.
Immediately, like the model in this build, it's so good.
And they do a really good job of breaking up a lot of the smoothness just so it doesn't look like it's just a straight up action figure, you know?
Oh, for sure, yeah. There's a lot of motion in this build.
I think that this is one of the best builds that was submitted for sure. The highlights really pop like on the shoulder and on the hat and stuff, especially at night.
The texturing like near the lamps and hat and the arm, oh, that's so good.
Aside from judging in general, I think that this one's just my favorite so far.
One of my favorite like really small details with this, there's a couple like snowflakes that are like yellow and orange catching the light from the lanterns.
I wouldn't have even thought about that. Wow. No, that's really good. There's like so many parts that could have gone wrong, but technically they did everything pretty much to a T on this one.
This is probably our smallest build, but like it stands out from the rest because of this frame and like the forced perspective, which is not something that we've had in any of our comps yet. I love the pixel art background. There's usually never pixel art in builds that I think really stands out. We've had a couple in this comp, but I think it does so much for the scene here.
Even though this is a smaller scale, this is a great example of it doesn't have to be a gigantic freaking organic to make it into these finals. There's so much done so well here with the shaping of this bison. The fact that you can get that semblance with so few blocks is incredible.
In 5th place, we have Omega. 4th place, we have Sirs. In 3rd place, Elasmreum. In 2nd place, for the 2nd time in a row, is Element. In 1st place is Bless. So congratulations, Bless.
Come on, more explosions, please.
After competition number 2, we had 3 more to go. $600 in prize money, 3 more guest judges, and 15 more top 5 spots up for grabs. The 3rd theme was Aquatic, and I had the pleasure of hosting Comp 3 alongside Tom on Mars. Hello there. Who's another bakery creator who makes a bunch of Star Wars Minecraft content. Because the themes were left very open-ended, there was a lot of room for personal style and interpretation for the builders to fill in, and I think this comp really highlights that.
It was amazing to have the opportunity to judge Minecraft building at arguably the highest level, and there were some truly unforgettable entries in this lineup.
One entry that immediately caught my eye was a super vibrant mermaid build by Atofu0102. The colors, the composition, it was just an easy favorite of mine from the start. Although once I had scored them, I realized that I had actually scored the Barbie mermaid by Diego RDZ a little bit higher. That said, the victory was razor thin, and after all the judges' scores were counted up, Atofu's build won by half a point. Honestly, either build could have taken the top spot and I would have been thrilled. Rounding out the top 3 was a familiar face, Knighty, who was our very first competition champion, making a strong return. And the other end-of-year competition invites went to Limehera with a very unique entry, Worm and Pakori Cafe. In Comp 4, I brought on builder friend and bakery staff member FDs to guest judge. The theme was ancient, and the entry saw probably the most variety of the qualifying comps. Everything from battle scenes to a crazy framed painted dragon that's popping out of the page. I think my favorite thing about this competition was that it felt like every build had a profound story and meaning behind it. In 3rd place was Pretty Girl, with some amazing character design of some ancient Egyptian pharaohs. Benji came in 2nd place with a cool forced perspective build of some ancient Roman architecture. And in 1st place, wait, no, this has to be wrong. Again? Oh, dude, Knighty won again. God, you gotta be kidding me. Come on. In all seriousness though, Knighty's build is incredible. I absolutely love the story behind it.
Yeah, I'd have to say that Knighty's build was probably my favorite submission. He was really able to show off his anatomy and shaping knowledge with this one.
But since Pretty Girl and Knighty were already in the end of year comp, that meant the other invites went to 4th place, Mr. Rizgar, 5th place, Yuzuyuki, and then just making the cutoff was MarcoZips and Shoezilla. The last competition of the year I did with my good friend and fellow baker Taco Squad. You might know him from Instagram or Shovels videos or that one video with Goose. Honestly, he's kind of all over the place right now. The theme was mechanical, and in my opinion, this was the best of the 5 qualifying competitions. Which makes sense, it was the last opportunity to make it into the end of the year competition. We had a ton of new faces this comp, but every build was still on par with the best of the year, which just makes me so proud that we have so many talented builders in our community. The top 3 from this comp started with Weeping Angel. There's so much to unpack with this build, and the composition is immaculate. It still kind of gives me the creeps a little bit though. Second place was Todpog with one of the most technically impressive builds from the entire year. Maybe the most technically impressive actually. And first place was Anelier, who came third way back in the Western comp. There are so many characters in this scene, each one with their own personality and emotion. Very, very well done. And then the last finals comp invites of the year went to Masadot, GAT, Elasmreum, and Derber. There's one big requirement that I have when picking out a theme that the first 5 all had in common. You have to be able to build both an organic or a structure from the same theme. But this time, I really want the people participating to be able to build anything. I want it to be more open-ended so they can explore lots of different ideas or messages in their head, something that doesn't limit the horizon of possibilities. Of the 25 finalists invited to the Exploration Comp, I got back finished entries from 12, one of which I would crown the Builder of the Year. For the first look at the builds, I hopped in a voice call with Shovel, one of the people judging the finals comp. Alright.
So -6, -4. Wow. I'm looking at the back.
There's a little platform here that you can stand on.
I think I know who did this too.
Yeah, I know exactly who did this. Wait, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's the void blocks or whatever.
Dude, he used a painting. He used a painting with signs
what?
over it.
Oh shoot. I didn't even notice that.
This is...
What is this?
I think this is the bells, but without the bells on it.
I thought I didn't even know you could debug it like that. Looking at it close, like the tech makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But like it all seems like it fits, you know, it all works together. You don't think it's crazy until you like look at it and think for a second. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the clouds? Because they look very sphere-y.
I'm not really sure about the spheres in the back. It looks like it's sort of unfinished. I'm PPing you to me.
Okay. Whoa! Holy crap! Oh my god! Oh
the
yeah.
Coloring
yeah.
is insane.
Holy crap! This is so crazy.
Dude, have you taken time to like appreciate the border on it too?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I looked at. Like, obviously the big sea monster caught my eye, but then when I was going closer, I was like, oh man, this frame is really nice. Oh, look at this. They ran out of room, so they painted it in.
I mean, it works. I didn't even notice.
That's cool.
That. I didn't even notice that.
That means they were pretty effective.
Oh, there's so many like really cool building tricks.
But look at this. This back wall, right?
Oh, yup.
You didn't want it to be too dark, so punching holes, but like trapdoors to mute it.
I've been seeing more and more builders doing this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's okay. You know,
I guess. For a quick little build, it must have taken them so much time.
This one reminds me of you.
Of me? Oh, God.
I feel like your voice could come out of this.
Well, you know, the one we just looked at reminded me of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the subject. The eyes definitely pop, and I just need to absorb this a little bit.
The clothes on the mouse is actually really well done too. The color, it reads really well.
My only qualm is like they can't really get around it too much, but it's like super duper brown. Like the subject's brown, the dog is brown and dark, and so is the cave. I almost feel like the dog is completely lost.
Which is unfortunate because the dog is really well done.
I think that it's well done. I do think that there could be a little bit more contrast in there.
For sure.
I mean, I still think that it's freaking awesome.
Like, I definitely need to spend a lot more time looking at it and like digesting all the parts.
Mm-hmm. And I remind you of him.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. This is what I think of you.
Indiana Jones mouse version. Thanks, I guess.
A little bit silly.
A little bit silly.
A little bit silly, a little bit serious.
I'll take that.
The other judges for the competition were RF5, who is a fellow bakery creator and a crazy talented artist, Acrylic Paint, who is a building comp winner and a veteran of the community, B-Dubs, which is a small YouTuber you might have heard of, FD's, another super talented builder, and myself. I took the next few days to go back over the builds, scoring on each of our judging criteria. And then the last step of this year-long plan was to do the end-of-year competition livestream. The first up of 12 was Zorencian. This build is literally the definition of exploration. This is a massive build, by the way. There's no particles higher because you can't go higher. These builds are massive. They are so big. Even though there's little past the particle effects in terms of setting, the design of the ship, characters, and props makes it easy to fill in the blanks. This build is also like covered in glass, which is kind of hard to tell from farther away. And it makes it so that the colors are like a lot more smooth. The whole build kind of looks like plastic, which is really, really cool. And I love these soft kind of curvy shapes on the outside of the build. It all fits together super, super well. The airship called the Lodestone is straight out of a childhood daydream or storybook. The colors complement the feeling that the rest of the build creates. And at least for right now, Zorencian, who submitted 3 other builds this year, is in first place. Elasmreum took a very unique approach to their entry. Throughout the year, more and more entries had specified viewing angles, forced perspectives, or a good side, if you will, but Elas's build had 2 sides, which contributed to the whole piece as 2 frames of a story. Now there is one unfortunate thing about this build, and it's that something went wrong with the form that I sent out to all the finalists. Elasmreum filled one out and sent it in, but I never got it, and that means neither I or the judges ever saw this build before we picked out a winner. I talked to Elasmreum about it and still ended up showing the build on the live stream with all the other finalists. And I'm showing it in this video because Elasmreum put in a lot of work on this build. At least to my knowledge, Pretty Girl was the most consistent participant in the qualifying comps this year. And it was really fun watching her progress. I love the facial expressions. It's definitely such like a wholesome build. The backpack I really love too. I really love that it's like a traveler's backpack. Her one-of-a-kind build style and compositions make her builds instantly recognizable. It's very commonplace for builders and many artists to use references to come up with ideas and help with lighting, but Derber insists on being completely himself when it comes to his builds. The colors and texturing are my favorite parts of most builds, and I'm happy to say that the block choices on this one did not disappoint. Really, really love the coloring in this build. I think that might be the highlight for me. Especially all the coloring on the outside of the ship too. There's a lot of really creative block use here with like netherite and then what is this, the deep slate redstone ore. I scored Derber at a 16, and with the rest of the judges' scores, his build totaled up to 86.85. I got to see a lot of crazy builds from even crazier builders this year, and one builder that I didn't know about before these comps was Yuzuyuki, who quickly became one of my personal favorite builders. Their finals comp entry, while I had some gripes with the lighting, is filled with fantastic character design, story, environment, props, and most of all personality. The judges and I agreed that this build was one of our favorites that we had ever had in our comps. I gave Yuzu an 18.4, and with all the other scores he got a 99.35, almost at 100 points, bumping him up into first place. The symbolism in Weeping's entry is unmatched, and it's one of the more out there interpretations of the theme exploration. A new warp travel technology presented in a poster advertisement. I mean, who thinks of that? I gave Weeping a 16.3, and with all the other scores, Weeping got an 85. We looked at Xerxes' build with Shovel already, so I'll keep this brief. While the build wasn't fully completed when it was entered, it still has a lot of creative build tech going on. The build itself is small but packed with detail, and the finished parts make it a great submission. MarcoZips was certainly a newer face around the bakery when he entered this super fun scene of a pair of adventurers breaking through a castle door followed by a dragon, and the whole story is coming to life right out of a massive scroll that wraps around the back of the build. Pakori's build is a lovely showcase of a safari explorer who holds the spirit of the wild inside his backpack. An instant highlight for me, actually, the way that like the buckles are done, the details are super on point. The clothing, props, and especially animals have such great time and care clearly put into them. It was actually requested that this build be displayed with a night vision on, which you'd think would make the build look worse, but Pakori has all the shadows textured in. And also all the coloring in this build. I mean, all the shadows are done manually, which you might not really think about when you look at something like this. Up until this point, most of the builds have been within a 20-point range of each other, but there were 3 builds this year that passed the 100-point threshold. The first one is by someone who throughout the year became somewhat of a community celebrity. Perhaps the most lifelike build from the whole year, even without the surrounding environment, the face of the portrait tells a story of its own. I notice immediately the shapes in the face, they're really simple shaped. He's focused so much detail on the parts that are supposed to be the highlights of the build. Around the build are memories of travels and adventures, and it's all made beautifully. The shapes that make up the man's face are simple but convincing, and paired with vanilla Minecraft shadows, the texturing is top-notch. This build, unsurprisingly, was made by Knighty. I gave Knighty an 18 out of 20, and with all the other scores, he got a 104.15. At this point, Knighty was so close to taking home his third and most important competition win of the year. But there were still 2 more builds to go. Before you say it, yes, this is actually Minecraft. Using glass to fill the gaps of Minecraft's palette has become more popular recently, and I can't think of a better example to demonstrate how powerful the technique can be. The way you have like these really small shapes that translate so well from a distance like this is really, really hard to do. It's something that I'm realizing is a lot harder to do than it looks. I think this one really excels at that. I've never seen a build that looks smoother than this, and it only helps to accentuate how well shaped the lines in the build are. All the small details in this build are just chef's kiss. I don't want to say like anything to give stuff away, but this is one of the best builds we've seen all year. I gave this build an 18.2, and with all the other judges' scores, Lyra's build totaled up to 102.55, almost reaching Knighty's seemingly unpassable score. Lyra had secured 3rd place, but my whole goal with this project is to find the single best builder, and there's only one more person that can take that spot away from Knighty. I've spent a long time looking at this build, and I feel like there's something new I'm impressed by every time. It's titled The Vortex of Temptation by Anelier. I don't think I'll be able to show you every little bit of this build. You might remember, but Anelier got 3rd place way back in the Western competition. 3rd place? Elasmreum. And also won the mechanical competition, the 5th and final comp of the year. Which means that coming into this competition, Anelier was hot off of a win, proving their capability. All the folds in the fabric and stuff like that, the costume design, like the backpack is done super well. This build is the most colorful piece of Minecraft art I've ever seen, and that's coming from the guy who's most well known for how I color my builds. The use of abnormal blocks and entities is off the charts. It is so vibrant, it's so unique, and it's my personal favorite concept from this whole competition, and the whole year for that matter. Through the camouflage characters, organic wavy particles, and beautiful water, there's just so much to look at and discover. In my opinion, I thought Anelier deserved a win, and I gave them a 19.1, the highest I had given anybody in the finals comp. But I wasn't the only judge. With all the scores totaled up, over the past 12 months, I've been on a mission to find the best builder in Minecraft.
This one is insane.
This looks amazing. It's awesome to see the final results.
Builder of the year.
Whoa.
That is insane.
They build in a way that I haven't seen other people build before.
I didn't even know you could do that.
The single best builder.
Yeah, man, this is the best. This one's the best.
I thought Anelier deserved a win, but I wasn't the only judge. Your 2024 Builder of the Year. Congratulations, Anelier, on the 1st place of the year. Bakery Builder of the Year. Dude, the #1 builder of the year. Anelier is our Bakery Builder of the Year. After over 365 days of searching, 5% of my entire life, I couldn't be happier to say that I did not find the best builder in Minecraft, nor will anyone ever. What the people of our community managed to achieve inside of this game isn't just building, it's art. And while the greatest Minecraft artist will never exist, the greatest Minecraft art community does. Thank you all so much for participating in our community. I'm gonna try to make a YouTube video out of this, by the way. It might not be out for like a month or a month and a half maybe, but like I'm working on it. So I know I don't post content that often and I don't stream that often, and I'm not that good at content, but I'm working on it.